Okay, I think we're live. Let me just plug the stream real quick. So this is, as far as I'm aware, the first ever high-profile match with Shadows of the Galaxy legal. My gain's a bit high. I'm going to turn it down. So we have GrandLotus and VladDracule here. It is a Ray mirror match. So not the most like interesting thing. But it is Shadows of the Galaxy content. So if anything is wrong with the stream, ping me on Discord. Or I guess I can pull up chat. But yeah, ping me on Discord if anything's going wrong, just in case I'm not reading chat. All right. Vlad's saying he's got lag. Let's see. All right, I guess I can. All right, this should be a good camera angle. It's like slightly tilted though. That's weird. All right. I guess I can show the lists. They're both, I think, they're both fairly similar. Both of them are running a lot of things that you can use Ray's ability on, especially in turn 1, like R2 Moisture Farmer. What's that blue 3-drop called? Concord Dawn something. Yoda, you can do it later. He's also got like A-Wing stuff. Regional Governor, you can also do that on. This is Dracule's list. This is Lotus's list. Like I said, a lot of the same stuff. One of the big differences in like high end, Lotus is running Redemptions. And Dracule's only running the one Crate Dragon, no Redemptions. Let's see, do they both have 3 Vigilance? Yep. Lotus is only on 2 Vigilance. 2 Kylos. Dracula's not on Kylo at all, it looks like. So, I don't know, we got a couple different ways of building this deck, but I mean, fundamentally, it is the same list. So it is a mirror. God, this is so weird. Why is it like slightly tilted no matter which way I go? Did I go back to the... Hey, what's going on? This is slightly tilted. Am I not? Am I wrong, chat? Looks tilted to me. What if I tilt it like that? All right, this is, I think, as close to even as we're going to get. All right, so players are rolling off for initiative. This is the first match of the top 16, I believe. Like I said on Discord, the first ever high-profile match with Shadows of the Galaxy legal. And it is a Ray mirror match. And GrandLotus is going first. Ray, not super high on a lot of people's tier lists, but decently high on most of them, I think. All right, there, piping in some of the TTS sounds. All right, I'm gonna stop moving my mouse. All right, so GrandLotus has the opening. It looks like he's got Sabine. I think that's Pillage in there. Pillage could be brutal. We didn't talk about that in the list. I'm not sure if Dracule's running them. Looks like Lotus is starting with the Sabine, which is a 2-3 right now, but it can become a 3-4 next turn with Ray, which could be pretty strong. And going for the Moisture Farmer, not the A-Wing. And Ray can pump up that Moisture Farmer right away. So now it's a 1-5. Moisture Farmer is one of the newer cards, so I'm just gonna show it to you guys. Restore 2. Very interesting there. It looks like R2 Daring Raid for Lotus. Dracule's got he's got either A-Wing or Yoda, or theoretically he could go for Jedi Lightsaber here, which would be insane. Looks like Lotus hasn't figured out that you can make everything rotate 90 degrees. So Ray is just going to get used on the Sabine right there. And is she going to get used on the Moisture Farmer, or is the Jedi Lightsaber going to come down? It is the Jedi Lightsaber. So now that is a 4-8 Moisture Farmer. And that does kill Sabine. See, I mean, taking the Sabine hit plus Target Town plus Daring Raid can kill it for Lotus, but you gotta put a lot into that. I assume the Sabine's just gonna hit base. Well, you can. Oh, okay. So Sabine hits into the Farmer, which is gonna put 4 on. It looks like. Theoretically, you would only need to put 3, and you could put 1 on the base. But I guess like doing 4, there's no reason to, because it's whatever you put on base is just gonna get healed by the restore. And here comes the R2-D2. Will we see Daring Raid or the Ray ability? Or, oh no, he already used the Ray ability this turn on the Sabine, so. Daring Raid. It's going to go up to 6. And you can target time to finish it off. And yep, that is happening. So the Jedi Lightsaber Moisture Farmer did get dealt with. And Lotus isn't actually in a bad spot. Like, they're even on card advantage, and Lotus has one thing on the board. Dracule did manage to get 4 damage into base, but that's really his main advantage at this point. And that might not be so important in this matchup, because these decks can both go on forever and ever. And it looks like that is a pillage in the hand. Yeah, it's a pillage for both players. And Dracula's not using it, electing instead to play the Yoda. Going for a more unit-based strategy. Lotus is also not going to use it. He's going to play Kanan. Kanan and Yoda seems nice, but Rhea is going to make it a 3-5, which means Kanan does not kill it right away. And Lotus just claims. Another thing that I should have mentioned, Lotus did have to use his Target Town there, whereas Dracule still has his available to him. So however, Force Throw is a big one here. Force Throw plus Pillage can give Dracula a real beating here. But if Dracula likes to keep his own Pillage here, he can prevent the Force Throw. We'll see. And he is going to discard the Pillage, so we're not going to see the hand getting emptied here. And the question is, does he get rid of one of his removal cards or Poe? And Poe could be a very strong piece here. Although with all this discard going on, maybe not as much. But even just like a 6/6 guy is pretty strong, especially when you don't have Target Town up. And he goes with the takedown. So I think that means we're going to see Poe probably right now. But it also means that whatever happens, this Force Throw can kill the Yoda. Or theoretically, if he plays the Poe now, the Force Throw could kill the Poe. And there's the Force Throw. And he really wanted to keep that Rival's Fall to deal with the Ray, I think. But no, gets it blown up. See, oh shoot, never mind. Let's see. Should put up. Oh, Yoda gets the draw card here. That's big. Oh, YouTube saying not streaming enough. All right. All right, new round. Pose on the board. This is the Ray flip turn. Lotus has another Pillage, which can just empty this hand right now. And it likes to throw the Yoda away instead of the A-Wing. And that makes sense, because you can actually play both A-Wing and Pillage this turn. And yeah, wow. Although that Poe is like a pretty big onboard advantage that is not easy to clear. Like Ray can come down, but I mean she's just hitting for 3 at most. Or I guess theoretically for 2, but I mean most people put a token on her when they first attack. But he could go for the R2 here actually. Both Rays hitting the table. And Ray's Lotus's Ray is going into Vlad's Ray. Oh, that's actually really interesting because he's only taking 2 back, but he's dishing out 3. That's actually really interesting. But the restore 3, man. It feels like Ray is like a perfect embodiment of Blue Hero, you know? Like the Luke was also kind of, but Ray I think even more so is the perfect embodiment of Blue Hero. It'll be interesting to see if she manages to beat out Churret for best best force throw deck, because that was sort of Churret's thing. And Vlad managed, or Lotus managed to set this up perfectly so that Ray dies here to the R2 attack. His own Ray is dead to Poe's ability next turn, but he would have to discard a card to make that happen. And he's only going to have 2. K2 and Open Fire. I mean, like, and Vlad is a tough spot here. Is in a tough spot here. Like, you could resource the Force Throw, go to 7, and play the Luke. I think that's probably the right move. You're not getting the Poe ability, but if you're gonna kill the Ray with the Luke, then you're fine. And Lotus, it looks like not resourcing at all, keeping both Open Fire and K2, even though he's not gonna be able to play them both this turn. So the Luke comes in and kills the Ray. And Lotus is up on card advantage, but he's not. He's down on board. Like those 2 units that Vlad has, even if he's buying on raw cards 4-2, like those 2 units are very hard to deal with, and they're very impactful. And that Ray is exhausted this turn, so she can't pump up either of these units on board. And R2's just going to base. Trying to filter through to find his own bombs, and he's keeping it on top. For like bigger stuff, we have Lotus has Luke's and Redemptions. Vlad has Luke's and he has 1 copy of Crate Dragon. So K2 coming down here. And we're going into a new round. And that is Luke. And is that Rival's Fall, I think? Vigilance and Force Throw. Those are both really good cards. He has 7 resources up to pay for both of them. Oh. You'd love to see that draw as Vlad. If I'm Vlad, I'm probably just force throwing right out the gate. I mean, I guess like maybe there's like the chance that you get like one of your guys' rivals hauled. But ooh, Poe coming in and pitching the Vigilance for damage and pitching the Force Throw to make him discard, I guess. And he discards the Luke. I think Vlad's actually just going to get it here. Because Rival's Fall comes down. You take out Luke. Vlad just claims. Or no. He's not dead yet. Because you can go Ray, give an experience to R2. That plus K2 kills the Poe. So Lotus is in it for at least a bit. And he is going to start catching up on damage because the K2 is going to be able to hit the base. And this A-Wing is also. But now we are in top deck wars, and Vlad is just one hit away. Does it put it just deal 4 to base and Vlad wins? No. Well, I mean the Poe dies here, yeah. But you can only do each of these abilities once. You can't pitch 2 cards for 4 damage, for example. Here comes the Luke. Lotus drew the Rival's Fall just in time to take it out. Yeah, we're gonna go into another round. Vigilance, Poe, okay. Wow. Vlad keeps drawing like his big stuff. Playing the Luke straight up without anything to target feels bad, but I mean, it's a threat. Let's see. Vigilance does get you out of here temporarily. But you have to either claim or play it now. I think you're going to want to play it now. And he plays it for heal 5 and mill, it looks like. And he's going to get Yoda, Regional Governor, Force Throw, Sabine, Regional Governor, K2. Those aren't bad. I think this is the 3rd Luke out of Vlad here. Ooh, Kylo here, Force Throw. None of these things are outs to Luke. So Luke goes to base. That's like 21, right? Or oh, he's considering doing something else first. Or oh, I guess Lotus hasn't decided if he wants to resource. Let's see, Kylo's 6 cost, so he can't throw. Adam. So Luke does that. I think you just have to claim, because anything else and you just die. So now Vlad can just claim and win. Maybe Vlad gets psyched out here and decides to like play pillage. And no, he just claims. So Force Throw. That's going to be 3 damage from the Conquered Dawn. But the other 4 damage isn't coming from anywhere. And folks, it looks like we're going to game 2. Vlad taking game 1. Let's go and take a look at these lists. It is a Ray mirror, and the lists are pretty similar. If If you're Vlad, I imagine we're going to see more Crate Dragons come in. Maybe Redemptions also. Maybe you bring in Forced Surrender, I guess. Yeah. On Lotus's side, I'm probably bringing in Crate Dragons, Vigilances. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Third Kylo on the sideboard. Interesting. I don't think Vlad is on Kylo at all. No, he is not. So, if you're just tuning in, this is top 16 of the Take the Initiative League Season 4. The other deck lists have not been submitted yet. Technically, the deadline is Wednesday. These guys just wanted to play early because they're both going to be on vacation for a while after this. So this was like the one day they could play. So they're getting it in before the deadline. So if you're, the other players that are here can base their deck list choice on the information in this matchup, but yeah. So unfortunately, the other deck lists are not available. These ones, just go and take screenshots. You can go, here they are now, and you can go back through and find them. But the other ones will be posted on the Take the Initiative Substack once they are submitted, which the deadline is Wednesday night, so they'll be up Thursday morning. It'll be a nice Independence Day present for all of us in the U.S. All right, and it looks like we're about ready for game 2. Very interesting hands on both sides. We see the R2. R2 is a favorite array openings because you can make it a 2/5. Force Throw and Pillage in the hand for Lotus. I think you're keeping this one. Yep, he is. Looks like they're both keeping. And difficult choice here for Vlad. Do you go with the A-Wing or the Sabine? And it looks like he's going with the Sabine. Is he resourcing the Pillage? Vlad did not respect the Pillage as much game 1. He threw it away a couple times. And Lotus played it a couple of times. And Vlad ended up winning that one. So, is it worth the hype? We shall see. R2 coming down. And here comes Sabine. And the R2 is going to get the experience token. Now, we were comparing Rey to Luke earlier. Would you rather have a 1/4 with a shield or 2/5 with no shield? Personally, I lean towards the 2/5, which is why I like Rey. But there is something to be said for the shield sometimes. Conquer Dawn, what's the full name of that card? Interceptor or whatever? In the hand for Vlad. And Sabine just going base, not using the Ray Pump. And R2 going to base again. And Yoda coming down, not the Conquer Dawn for Lotus. And another Yoda coming down for Lotus also. Yoda's a big card in these matchups because it helps you draw, which with all the hand control can be pretty important. Second force throw in the hand for Lotus with the Yoda out. He's got the pillage up this turn also. So we'll see what he decides to go with. And Vlad here also has the pillage up. He also has open fire plus force throw, which could be kind of devastating. Open fire does directly take out Yoda. Rival's Fall getting resource there for Lotus. That's a risky one. Like, Rival's Fall is a pretty strategic card in this matchup. And open fire coming down from Vlad onto the Yoda. Yoda draws another card. It's Arc 170. And that actually is a play that makes playing the force throws here rather than the pillage look kind of attractive. Because you can go like Arc 170 force throw and then Ray, or you can play the second force throw also. You got options. But he's gonna make a choice here soon, it looks like. Force throw, I think, no matter what, is gonna be pretty devastating here for if Lotus decides to play it. Because he either loses his own force throw or he loses one of his units. And okay, looks like he goes with the pillage instead of the spam play. And this is a difficult choice here for Vlad. Like, you either got to give up your own hand control or your Luke, but the Luke's not coming into play for a while. It looks like if he goes with the pillage, I think that makes sense. And is it going to be force throw or... And it's the force throw, yeah. So he keeps the Luke with nothing to do with it. He does have something to use that extra resource on because of Ray. He can go ahead and give Sabine an experience. Or Yoda, I guess. Yeah, Yoda does fall within that range. So Vlad is pressuring the board early. And this is... We saw like what he did in the last game also was, you know, push for board advantage rather than card advantage. And that did manage to get him the win. And he's going for it again. Like, as you know, as we can see here, Lotus is up 5 cards to 3, but you know, I mean, he's down. Like, he's his only unit on the board is an R2, which isn't really gonna do much. Like, maybe it takes out Sabine next turn. In fact, it probably will. Or I guess he's just gonna clear the Sabine now. And Vlad is gonna counter by clearing the R2 now. So, I mean, just like the Yoda on the board, which is going to represent another card eventually. And like 9-0 in damage. Like, Vlad is in a pretty strong position despite being down so many cards here. Pillage, I will say, may become the most annoying card in the game now. Like, I'm not sure what that was before. There weren't a ton of cards in Spark that were, like, super annoying, but Pillage is going to be annoying. And Poe coming down for Lotus here. Takedown is the only playable card here for Vlad. I guess, like, theoretically, you go, like, Yoda, like, sack Yoda into Poe and then play Takedown to get rid of it. And it looks like, yeah, he is going to do that. He's going to get another draw off of the Yoda. It's Kanan. And this is another, like, sort of interesting point of comparison for Ray and Luke. Because this turn, like, you could, in Luke, you could play Kanan and then use Luke to give him a shield. Whereas you can't use your Ray on the Kanan. Which kind of sucks. But we are at 6 resources. This is the Ray flip turn. And Lotus has managed to equalize the board advantage here, and he's still 2 cards up. Lotus going first with the Ray. We're going to see takedown immediately answering the cannon. The 1-for-1s work out in your favor if you're Vlad. Okay, so now Lotus has an interesting decision point. Okay, he is going to go with the just force throw the redemption, which is like technically a -2 or -1, I guess, in card advantage, but you do get the guaranteed kill on Ray. And if Vlad decides to play this second Sabine here for the 2 resources, he is in for a world of pain. And the Ray coming in for Lotus getting the restore and not being answered right away is going to be big also, because it's going to eat away the advantage that that Vlad built up. Here comes the Sabine, and Lotus is going to fire off that force throw, get rid of the Luke, clear the Sabine. That's a big play. And we are going into a new round. K2 and force throw, not bad. So Vlad does, or Lotus decides to resource, sorry, Vlad does not resource, which does give Vlad sort of temporary card advantage. And here comes the Poe. Question is, like, I mean, Vlad might just fire off this force throw to clear the last card, and it looks like he does. No force unit, so he doesn't get the damage, but just clearing the Rival's Fall is nice there. And importantly, I think that's 2 Rival's Falls gone out of Lotus. He resourced one earlier in the game, which is important because that card is, it deals with anything. And Lotus is contemplating whether to attack or to claim, or I guess like who to attack if he does decide to. I think you go base if you do attack. I don't think there's a world in which you attack K2, but there is a world where you claim to prevent K2 from getting an attack off, I guess. And Vlad's in a weird position where he has to resource Rival's Fall to be able to play this Luke. He decides not to. He decides, you know, I guess I'll resource next turn. Oh, ooh, he's thinking on it. It looks like he's not ready. And is that a pillage I see, or is that daring raid? I can't quite make out the difference in the artwork between them. If that is pillage, that is okay. So it looks like he does go for the resource here, so he can't play the Luke. But I mean, like, even if it's not pillage, like, Poe can just attack and clear that last card out of the hand. And so Poe is going to attack. And it looks like he's gonna throw the pillage to make, presumably for the discard. Yep. And now we'll see what the K2 does. If it is a damage or discard. It's only Moisture Farmer in hand, which actually Moisture Farmer is pretty relevant here because it can get raid. But he does go for the discard. Probably makes up in terms of health there. I think that Moisture Farmer was probably going to get at least 4 health healed, which means it makes sense to go for the discard, even though obviously Vlad can't see the hand. We can. And Vlad claims, Ray goes in for 3, heals 3. Lotus is setting up to equalize the series here. Regional Governor and Sabine, neither of those are game-winning cards. Sabine can theoretically take out Poe, but he's going to get in a lot of damage first. And Regional Governor comes down. What's he going to name? My guess is like Luke, Maybe Crate Dragon, but probably Luke at this point because he's only on 7. Yep, Luke. Figured. Pogo's base. Is he gonna go? Is he gonna go for the discard here? He does not. Not doing anything off that. Poe. Conquer Dawn comes down. That means Ray is gonna get given out an experience. I imagine we're gonna see takedown on Speen. Why not? Yep. And this is like where the strategy of pursuing card advantage like really starts to take hold. Like this Ray is starting to heal everything, and you know everything is 1-for-1ing, and it's coming down to like top decks. And when things trade 1-for-1, like the person with the card advantage is going to start winning when you're starting to get into top deck wars. Vigilance and Poe here, both of those are good cards. I imagine we'll see the Vigilance come down to clear out Lotus's Poe. And probably heal 5, yep. That is what happens. And Ray going to base. Second experience token has hit the Conquer Dawn. Ray pumping up the regional governor. And it looks like Lotus forgot the restore there on Ray. Not that it really matters. Like 3 health versus 0. But sometimes, things like that can end up impacting the game. Governor going into Ray. Here comes an A-Wing for Lotus, and that's another Ray target. Vlad's gonna claim here. Contemplating going like takedown on Governor, and he does do it. So now Luke is back in the game if he top decks that. Yeah, he does. Perfect. And another Poe. Crate Dragon here for Vlad, but he's 2 resources away from being able to put it down. Let's see. Takedown is live here. Does it? It does. Yeah, Ray is in takedown range. She's at 7 and 5 left. And that regional governor attack actually mattering there. So, I mean, he's like weighing the possibility of like getting. Ooh, goes for a takedown on the A-Wing, not Ray. Ray is in range, guys, right? I'm not making that up. Yeah, she is. But it's making the determination that I don't know why you do that. I think it's you just always go for Ray if you can. And even the Crate Dragon here is not going to make a difference. I don't think there's anything Vlad can do. And we are going to game 3, folks. Oh, he's not quite out of it. Yep, now he is. It all comes down to this. Who will be Queen of the Rays and earn a coveted spot in the top 8? Gotta give a shout out to the KTOD Discord, both these players and myself for all members. Looks like both players are going back into the sideboards. I guess we can go take a look at the list between games for those new that haven't seen him yet. This is VladDracule's list, and this is Lotus's list. They're fairly similar. Kylo's in the Lotus list, but I think the main difference so far has not been the list, but the play style. Lotus seems to be valuing the hand control more, the force throws and pillages, and Vlad seems to be playing for the board advantage, trying to get things down, get damage in, and then be able to outpace your opponent in the end game. And it is 1-1. And Vlad opens first. He's got the Sabine. That's just pretty basic start for these red decks. It looks like Lotus had the opportunity to go Sabine as well, but went for A-Wing instead. And Vlad has the Conquered Dawn Interceptors, or whatever they're called, which is like pretty much, it's a very good card in A-Wing here. Elects not to play it. Weird. So he just lets the A-Wing attack. So I want to know what the name of this card is. Yeah, Conquer Dawn Interceptors. If you played that beforehand, or I guess theoretically, he could have gone Ray and pumped it. And that would have made it beat the Interceptors. That is a valid reason to take the damage first. So we're on 4 resources, and this time Vlad has Pillage, and Lotus does not. And Lotus put a bunch of stuff on the board early, so he could actually get punished pretty hard by Pillage. And he's just going to fire it off. And Lotus now on the receiving end of a card he used in both the first 2 games to great effect. And he pitches Rivals and keeps the Poe. Not going to make a play this turn, but he's going to have one next turn. Decides to take out Sabine there. That is a positive trade because of the way Sabine works. So that basically evens out the card advantage chain, because the Pillage is a -1 for Lotus, but being able to trade +1 there. Trades for the target town eventually. So on card advantage, Vlad is actually up 1 in cards. And that, yeah, the Ray goes to the A-Wing. I think, so if he Conquer Dawn, yeah, he can go Conquer Dawn here, and then he trades with A-Wing. It should be 2 there. But if we're assuming the A-Wing is just going to swing in. Or I guess he could, oh, now he can Target Down here. So Target Down clears that. So now they're both... we're even on card advantage. Lotus has the advantage on the board, though. And he's starting to push damage in. Vlad has nothing on the board. Force Throw is like a great equalizer, but it requires you to have something on the board. I think like this is why some people might want to gravitate back to Churret to play this blue-red hero shell, because Churret can flip on this turn, whereas like Ray doesn't flip until next turn, obviously. Interceptor comes down. That is going to trade into Conquer Dawn. There's almost something you can do to avoid it. Especially with Ray pumping it up. Yeah, I think you almost just wanted to do that instead of playing the Poe to avoid the Ray. And Vlad had the perfect chance to play Force Star to kill that last card, even if it would have done no damage. Elected not to take it. And so we're going into 6 resources. Oh, another pillage for Vlad. Pillage could be big here. Did he draw twice? There's no way he has that many cards in hand, right? Okay, yeah. It was a mistake. Drew too many cards. So it is like Kylo or Rivals Fall on Ray could both be big here. Let's see. It's Vlad's move. He has a couple lines he can take. Like he can go for like dedicated, like I'm just gonna Rivals Fall the Ray here no matter what. He likes to keep his options open by attacking base with the interceptors, which makes sense. And Lotus spends everything for that Kylo. First time we've seen him hit the board. 6-7. Gives a unit a buff so he can theoretically attack for 8. Not doing anything this turn, but that is a big guy. Now 2 big guys on the board for Lotus in the form of both Poe and Kylo. Hard to deal with those. He can go like Rivals Fall to take out one of them, which it works, but then the other one's just gonna hurt you. And looks like he's just going to use the Ray to buff the interceptors. Yeah, you gotta spend one for that. So Ray comes out here for Lotus. If he deploys the Ray, like the force throw looks real good. But if he does do that, then like Poe is in a position to just kill Ray. The second experience on the Conquer Dawn actually does matter a lot because it prevents like Ray from giving experience to the A-Wing, which would mean that the A-Wing could actually trade with the interceptor. But now, like, no matter what, it's going to be a positive trade for Vlad here. All right, and he successfully baits out the Poe attack onto Yoda. It's interesting. So Lotus could, Vlad could take that as a signal from Lotus that he has a big card in hand. Okay, so he goes for the 4-star there. But the signaling thing I was talking about was, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to kill Yoda with Poe there, especially because like Poe can kill Rey. It does make sense if you know that Yoda's a force unit and you want to avoid getting force throwed, or at least it makes more sense. So 6 is not enough to kill Kylo. It is enough to kill Poe. It's enough to, with a Rey attack, kill either Kylo or Rey. And he looks like he puts the 6 on Kylo. Which means that, so R2 goes into Rey, just dealing 1. He's only taking 2 back at this point because Rey doesn't have the experience yet. So now, like, if Rey goes into Kylo, she's dead. Or Poe, really. Either one of them. Or, well, she was never going to go into Poe because she can't kill him. And Lotus is sort of taking the strategy that Vlad was playing earlier of just overwhelm the board. And he also happens to be at least even a card advantage right now. I think going into this turn he was actually down, though. Only by 1, I believe. But, yeah. Game just snowballed so much for Lotus. Yep. When there's a pillage. Very interesting. So let's see. Luke can come down here, and the only things that Luke takes out are R2 or the A-Wing, and those aren't like particularly important. So going 6 to base from the Poe. We'll see, like, he might decide to just ram like Sabine in for 2 damage. Theoretically, it could also be 2 damage to the Concorde Interceptor, which makes a trade with A-Wing. But you're sort of fine either way. It looks like he just doesn't decide to use the Poe ability at all, which is fine. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that, guys. I turned down the bitrate. Maybe that helps with the lag. Usually it isn't this bad, but I'm at a different setup this time. Okay. Okay, sorry. So I was trying to fix that stream thing. We saw the A-Wing trade into the Interceptor, it looks like. Takedown cleared the Poe. Vlad has initiative, but he's going to be hard-pressed to find anything that can deal with this.